Alright, so in this video we're going to go over exponent problems, but a little bit harder. And the rules in all these, we're always going to simplify and write in radical form. So remember, when we're talking about exponential problems, we're going to look at this one right here. X to the 3/5 times x to the 1/5. If you remember your exponent rules, when I am multiplying, I'm going to add my exponents. So they're the same base, they both have x, we're going to add the exponents. So your answer is still going to have the same base of x. But my exponent is going to be 1/3 plus 5, or 3/5 plus 1/5. So you're going to add your exponents. 3 plus 1 is 4. So that's where we're going to take 3 plus 1 equals 4. Denominator stays the same. But now the directions say simplify and write in simplified radical form. So that means the 5 on the bottom of that is going to be my root, 5th root, x to the 4th power. So that's what we got to do. Make sure we always write it, follow the directions, and write in radical form. Alright, next one. Alright, so we're going to talk about a couple different types of problems. So this one right here is a simple multiplication. So it's got 3 problems in one. But you got to remember that if I take 2 times 4, we're not adding all of a sudden like we do with our other exponents. You take 2 times 4 and get 8. Now we're going to take x to the 2/7 times x to the 3/7. Just add just like normal x or ones. 2 plus 3 is 5, and then the 7 stay the same. So it'll be 5/7. Now the y's. We have 5/6 plus 7/6. All you got to do is add 5 plus 7 to get 12, and then you got 12/6. Now we cannot stop here. We have to simplify. So you can see I have 12/6. So we're going to rewrite this first. We have x and y squared, because 12/6 is 2. So we're allowed to simplify that. Now that middle one, x to the 5/7. Your directions say to write it as radical form. So I'm going to multiply. I'm going to put 7th root of x to the 5th. Oops, not the 5. X to the 5th. There you go. So all we're doing is just rewriting this in radical form. So I'm going to just shuffle things around to make it look a little cleaner. So I wrote 8 times y squared times 7th root of x to the 5th. Now this is the complete answer right here. You've always got to make sure to include that. Cannot skip steps. All right, let's move on to this one. So we have a squared times b to the 3rd to the 1/2 power. There's 2 ways to do this. You could distribute the 1/2. There's nothing wrong with that, but I would recommend doing this. Take the square root of everything inside the parentheses. Because then it looks like a problem we've seen in previous videos. Because now you can say, well, how many a's do we have? Well, we have 2 a's, so 1 a gets to move to the outside, none on the inside. Well, then we look, how many b's do we have? 1 group of 2's gets to go on the outside, 1 remains on the inside. So that's kind of nice about that. Now, if you would have distributed, you would have gotten 2 times 1/2, which is 1. And then 3 in the power of, or b in the power of 3/2, which we would have to do a little more steps like the previous problem. But it would make sense, in my opinion, to do it with the square root of a squared to the b to the 3rd. It makes a little bit more sense and easier for you guys to worry about. Alright, next one. It's a little similar, but a little more complicated. Same thing, you could distribute the 1/4 out, but I like doing this. The 4th root of a to the 3rd, b to the 12, and then c to the 6. Then we ask yourself, how many a's do we have? We have 3. I have no groups of 4, so I cannot touch it. It stays right there. I have 12 b's. I have 3 groups of 4. You can write those out if you want, or you just use some basic mental math. C, there's 6 of them. There's 1 group of 4's, and there's 2 left over. Once again, use your fingers if you have to. So there you go. But once again, I would recommend changing it to look like this first, and the top to the 4th root. But once again, if you distribute it, you get the same thing. But it does require a little bit more work and knowing how to do exponential. I think that's it. Yep. That is all the problems.